would say that our conversation is more so centered around biracial people who do not want to identify as black. Not biracial people who say, I am black and I'm white. Because I have,
But you're
like, in
not
talking
white. But you're not white. I guess that's the thing I'm pushing. You're black and you have white family.
you really don't believe as a biracial person you can say, I'm both.
Nah, you can't say you both.
Imagine saying you're gay and you're straight.
Well, you would say you were bi.
That's a different thing.
Right, which is not straight. And straight becomes the norm, right? So let's follow this logically out. Similarly,
Okay.
a biracial person is not the norm, right? In a white supremacist society, that is what? White. So you can't be biracial and white anymore. You can be bisexual and straight. Now, again, these are problematic ideas.
Man, Rach,
right?
Rach, fight back. This nigga bodying you right now.
It's not.
I'm not trying to fight
We're
back.
not debating. We're not bad. Don't let this nigga down here pipe you up to think we battle. We just talking. We building.
Really know if this is my last time, but what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. Very interesting clip. You see this title. You know, biracials ain't white. So, when people like to talk about biracial people, biracial kids in America, you know, black and white, black and whatever, and the kids grow up and they go, well, I'm black and this. You know, my mom is this, my dad is this. So I'm both. And they'll say, turn around and they say, you know, if I'm around black people, I ain't black enough. If I'm around white people, they don't accept me. They ain't never said you ain't white enough because they don't call you white at all. They call you black. So here we go. When are we gonna have that? When are y'all just gonna accept that? Yeah, you're black. If you're biracial and you're black and white, you're viewed as black by your black side and you're viewed as black by your white side. You ain't never gonna be white. That's just the reality of it. So biracials ain't white. You know, if you was black and Asian, you know, what was that thing that happened with the tennis player, Naomi Osaka? You know, she said she was in Japan all those years and she wasn't Japanese. She too black to be Japanese. But when she won Wimbledon, oh, look at the Japanese. She's like, when I become Japanese? I thought I was just a black girl in Japan. I can't believe it. I remember when Black Panther came out, and if y'all know Lupita Nyong'o lived in Mexico. You know, born in Africa, lived in Mexico, and so a Mexican lady, she loved it. She saw Black Panther, she loved it. And she found out about Lupita, you know, because you know the name, like Lupita, where do you get that name from? And she found out the lady's from Mexico, and I remember being out one day, and the lady's like, "You see it? You know, Lupita, she's Mexican, she's from Mexico. She's from Mexico. You didn't know that?" I'm like, I didn't know that. I gotta look into that. That's cool. And I ain't have an issue, but my black mind was kind of like, first of all, both her parents is African, but she from Mexico. I get it. And then I was like, but if she wasn't in this $1 billion movie, people from Mexico would never say nothing about it. Like, she, who that girl? When she was playing in 12 Years a Slave, nobody said she from Mexico. You know, I think until she won an award, then it started creeping out. But she's not biracial, but I'm just saying areas, right? You know, when I see, one of the coolest things I saw recently was there's this black kid, and he's like, one parent's black American and the other one's like African. And the black kid was in the car, and he's like, I want to be Mexican because I like quesadillas. That was hilarious. That was cool. And then they took him, I think, the Mexican soccer team, football team. like embraced the little kid. That was dope. I got it. That was just dope. That was a dope moment. But interestingly enough, if you ask, kids who one parent is black and one parent is Mexican, it's even a guy on YouTube. He does it. He does the Blexican thing, But he's like, I don't claim them blacks, fool. But the way he does the skits is like all the Mexicans that he comes across him, man, get out of here, negrito. Like he's like, no, I'm Mexican. He starts running down his whole Mexican side of the family. And I'm Blexican. But when it comes to the black part, what's happening, dog? Nothing. It's like because you can't get acceptance from that other group like that. You're always like, take your shoes off in this house. You ain't family like that. You get what I'm saying? You ain't family like that. So when people say, okay, and if you're biracial, which you could be biracial, when does your other half come out? You get what I'm saying? Like when you know all the pros and cons of being black, right? So when do you have the pros of being not black? Let's just be honest. Like all of a sudden you could say I'm biracial, so I ain't got the racism part. I opt out. I'm biracial, so let's just go the police brutality or the unfairness. Look, I'm part white. I don't get that. Like my white family have told me this, that, and the third. Like, I remember we was doing a show with Ike and Dr. Thunder, and we talked about former President Barack Obama, and him. He's biracial, right? And how he talked about how his grandparents would really say a bunch of racist stuff. But he loves his grandparents, of course. So even a former president's grandparents who raised him wasn't gonna tell him, boy, you part white. We're gonna call you Barry, but you're white now. It's not gonna happen. Going back, y'all forget when Colin Kaepernick was playing for the 49ers as the quarterback. When he made it to the Super Bowl, somehow, the mother who gave him up because he was black, that's my baby. She ain't claimed that boy till he was in the Super Bowl. And then when he took a knee, that nigga need to be stomped out. That's a mama. I ain't your mama. That's why I gave you away in the first place. Jigaboo. Like she was on one. So, that's why, I'm like, you biracial. Yeah, biracials ain't white. I can tell you that. You might hear that you ain't black enough. If that's the story, fine. You ain't black enough. But you ain't never heard that you was white. Or white enough for white people. So let's just keep it all the way honest, not halfway. That's all I'm saying. And if I'm wrong, feel free. Feel free to say whatever you got. I'm willing to listen. But I'm done. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, I gave you everything I had.